Hey there, welcome to another photographic moment, and I'm back in one of my favorite locations, Hocking Hills State Park. It's winter. Actually, yesterday was a winter solstice, so it's officially winter, even though it feels like it's been winter in Ohio for the last 6 weeks. And I'm down here at the trail, lower trail through Old Man's Cave Gorge. And this time of year it's beautiful because it's always beautiful, but that's what's great because each season presents entirely different type of subjects when it comes to landscape photography out here. Winter is definitely unique because we have all these beautiful ice formations all the way through here. And when I was setting up to doing this shot, it brought to mind a good subject to talk about, and this time of year it's a good time to talk about it because in landscape photography in winter we're dealing less in this with so much as far as color, but we're dealing with more strong visual elements as far as lines and patterns. And that's a very important thing to keep in mind when we do landscape photography, is knowing, what is part of a scene that first caught our eye and staying true to that instead of trying to include too much. And I think in nature landscape photography, photographers find that to be the biggest challenge. And when I teach these workshops, I notice this, is that photographers want to include too much. And the art in creating compelling visual art, so to say, is trying to edit out and omit rather than trying to include too much. And I think this is a good subject to illustrate that point, because here I have this beautiful ice formation and there's lots of different patterns of lines that are a part of this scene. Now the scene as a whole is a nice shot, but what I like to do, and one of my favorite lenses when I do this type of work, is a 70 to 200 millimeter zoom and go in tight for that one particular section that I think best tells the story of the scene from a visual standpoint. What is the composition within the composition, so to say, and trying to keep it very simple, keep it clean. I watch the edges of my frame and make sure there's no distracting elements coming in. I look for a pattern such as maybe a zigzag or maybe a set of 3 elements balanced out together. If there's a central focus point, I try to put it in the lower corners, not the exact corners, but the row of thirds where the intersecting lines come together here, here, and here, but not in the middle unless it's a big circular subject. So there's some basic guidelines to composition, but they're not, hard, fast rules that you have to live by. What's most important is that the photographer stays true to his or her creative vision and not try to include so much because so-and-so like this part of like this and this and this in another photograph, or they're trying to imitate somebody else. To keep it simple, keep it true to your own creative artistic vision, very important. These winter nature landscape subjects is an excellent opportunity to practice that and learning to edit in the camera rather than crop afterwards. It's always better to do the editing out here and spend less time behind the computer. So with that, I want to just talk a little bit too about some tips about shooting in snowy conditions and cold weather. One of the things that I find challenging is my hands, because they're always up on the camera up here. I really like these gloves that are mittens that keep the fingers together. When I'm not needing my fingers, they keep them more warm. And when I need them, I pop them out, and then I've got a thinner glove underneath. And I found that this works very well, even though my hands have a tendency to get very, very cold. The other thing too, in shooting in snow, camera light meters measure white snow usually more toward a gray. Okay, so always keep that in mind and try to compensate for it by overexposing snow, usually as a general rule by 1 stop to 2 stops overexpose. That way you compensate for the meter. Trying to make your snow look a little bit too dingy, you get it back to its natural white color. Another thing, if you're shooting snow in bright sunny conditions with a clear sky, it's good to use a polarizer filter on that snow because that snow is reflecting a lot of blue, okay? So polarizer filter will be able to cut that out as well. With that, I hope everybody has a great 2011. A lot of great photography opportunities coming up. As far as workshops go with me, because I've got 2 in January. I've got a Saturday program at Cox Arboretum in Dayton on January 15th, and unfortunately that one's already full, but you're more than welcome to get on a waiting list for that. And then I have a weekend program right here in Hocking Hills, photographing these type of subjects at the Inn at Cedar Falls last weekend in January 28th to 30th. Plenty of openings still available for that. So if you want to learn more, both workshops are described on my website at ohiophoto.org. And I hope everybody has a great holiday season, and I'll be shooting more and doing more postings as we go throughout the year for more photographic moments. Thank you.